Hello everyone and welcome to a new video. When I first started out with color pencils, I really had no idea this kind of hacks existed, and I wish I would have known about them to help me in my new journey. For this video I put together 12 amazing colored pencil hacks which will make your work much easier for sure, and I'm really glad to share them with you. Please watch the whole video not to miss any great advice. Hack number 1 is use a piece of cloth to make the masking tape less sticky. To stop the sheet of paper from moving around, I always tape it down. When I first started out doing this, I had some bad experiences because the masking tape was ripping off some of the paper as well when I removed it. To avoid that, I always use a piece of cloth to stick the masking tape a few times on it before adding it to my paper. This helps decreasing the stickiness of the tape and it won't damage your paper anymore. A steady sheet of paper will avoid as well a lot of frustrations and anger because nobody wants to draw on a paper which keeps moving around. Hack number 2 is use an embossing tool to create whiskers. A very easy way to create whiskers is by using an embossing tool. It will leave some very deep marks in the tooth of the paper, being visible once you apply the pencil on top. You have to apply the very hard pressure and please make sure to choose the right spots before doing it, because the mark is almost impossible to cover afterwards. Now we get to see the marks we've done. Just draw as normal over the marks and they will show up. This method is great to do in the same time with the sketch to take away the stress of how to create the whiskers at the end of the drawing. It is ideal as well for some very bright highlights in the eyes of fur. This applies only for white whiskers. For dark ones you can use a black pencil and create them from one move to avoid a shaky whisker. Hack number 3 is make your own tracing paper. To make my own tracing paper, I used a black Pan Pastel and a cheap makeup sponge. If you don't have any of those, you can utilize black pastel or charcoal and spread it with your finger. All you have to do is to apply the pigment everywhere and make sure it is enough and even, otherwise the sketch won't be visible everywhere. I tried all kinds of tracing paper and they were never good enough. Some of them left an unerasable sketch or made the whole sheet of paper dirty. That's why I create my own. It is very cheap, I can do it in every size I want, and the sketch is very easy to erase. After it is finished, turn it around and tape it above your paper and make sure the dark side is facing it. To create the sketch, use an embossing tool or sharp white pencil to draw over it. The sketch will be visible and you can start the fun part now, which is adding details and coloring. Hack number 4 is use an Exacto knife to add details. An Exacto knife is very cheap and helps to add a lot of details. This is one of my favorite hacks to use. It takes such a small amount of time and gives great results which can take your art to another level. Before using the knife, make sure you have enough layers to work with. Only one layer won't be enough for the highlights to show up. This hack works the best when having 3 or 4 burnish layers down, as it needs to have enough pigment to remove to show the white paper underneath. Now let's use the knife. All you have to do is to scrape off some pigment and the highlights will show up. An extra tip is to use a white pencil to intensify them even more. Hack number 5 is repair mistakes using Scotch tape. This is a method I started using not a very long time ago and it works great without damaging your paper. As you can see in my demonstration, you need to apply the tape in the desired place and peel it off. This will take away some of the pigment and make the area lighter. It is ideal to use if the base layer is too dark or you made an unwanted mark and want to remove it. The more you use the tape and peel it off, the lighter the area gets. Hack number 6 is, after sharpening, clean your pencil tip with a brush. To sharpen my pencil, I use a manual sharpener. It is great because the pencil is in a fixed position and you won't break it by making a wrong move, as you can do when using a hand sharpener. After you have finished sharpening it, use a brush to clean the pencil residue left. By doing that, you avoid having it all over the paper and smudge it around. Don't do this over your drawing paper, as you will do all of this for nothing. Hack number 7. Protect your drawing by adding a sheet of tracing paper under your arm. Because color pencils can be very easy to smudge, especially the dark ones, Avoid having a direct contact between your palm and the unfinished side of the drawing. Leaving that area unprotected will only allow the skin's oil to combine with the pencil pigment and spread it all over your drawing. It will make your hand very dirty as well. To avoid all the bad things mentioned a few seconds ago, simply add a sheet of tracing paper under your arm. Colored pencils won't adhere anymore to the tracing paper, resulting in a clean area. It is a nice feeling as well knowing your drawing is protected. If you don't have this paper around, using baking paper is as well another option. I tried it a few times and it works great. Always protect the area under your hand to avoid lots of cleaning up later on or even ruining your drawing. Hack number 8 is use double tape to stop your paper from moving around. We all know how frustrating it is when we are drawing and the paper keeps moving around. It only makes us angry and takes the fun out of the creating process. An easy way to fix it is to add 4 small pieces of double tape to each corner of the paper. The double tape can help to hold your work in place and then be removed without causing damage to the paper. Another great bonus of applying this method is the fact that it will protect your paper from being in direct contact with the dirt from the table. After all of this is done, you can enjoy drawing again without having to hold the paper with the other hand. Hack number 9 is use a brush to clean the pencil residue. One of the biggest mistakes I did in the beginning was wiping the pencil residue with my hand. This will smudge the pigment for sure and make some very dark marks. This is caused by the oils from the skin mixing with the pencil residue. In my demo, I applied a very dark layer down and cleaned the paper with my fingers. In the end, you can notice how the marks are visible and it created a mess around that circle. To show you the difference a brush makes, I drew the same circle again. You can see how all that pigment is gathering around the circle because with dark colors you tend to apply a harder pressure which creates more residue. To clean it, I used the Da Vinci brush and the result was a clear, mark-free area. Hack number 10 is use a pencil extender. What is a pencil extender? It is basically what the name says, a tool to extend your pencil. When the pencil gets too small, it is impossible to use it again. The pencil extender gave me full control over the movement again. Now I am able to add details again and blend without dropping my pencil the whole time. These are a great way to save money as well. Most people just throw their pencils when it reached a certain size, but that pencil still has potential in it. All you have to do is to use this hack. Hack number 11. Use a white gel pen for strong highlights. My favorite gel pen is the Signo Uniball. While creating this layer for adding the gel pen on top, let me tell one very important fact about it. It isn't archival, so it will get yellow in time. That makes it not ideal for being used in commissions or any client work. Use it only for personal projects or if you don't want to sell the drawing. Instead, for client work, you can use some very good quality white acrylic. Now you can see how easy it is to create bright highlights using the gel pen. It is perfect as well for a cartoony style or illustrations. Hack number 12 and the last one is use a kneaded eraser to slightly remove the sketch. This hack is one of the most important to avoid messing up your drawing. Before starting coloring and detailing your artwork, make sure not to leave the sketch as it is, especially if it is very visible. Use a kneaded eraser to easily remove some of the graphite without completely erasing it. This should allow you to still see the outline, but to be able as well to cover it further into the drawing. I promise that by using this hack, you'll avoid messing up your artwork. For the second part of this demo, I left the sketch untouched. When I started coloring it, you can notice it got even darker than before. And why is that? The answer is very simple. You burnished the graphite with the color pencil, which made it even more visible. This mistake is not possible to fix anymore, as the outline has been already pushed in the paper's tooth and it will stay there. By leaving the sketch as it is, you will sentence yourself for a disaster, especially when working with lots of layers and burnishing. We came to an end of this video. Thank you for watching, and I hope you enjoyed it, learned from it, and I didn't ramble too much. Starting from now on, I'm going to create color pencils, graphite and pastel tutorials. If you'd like to see all of the new things coming soon, please hit that subscribe button, give this video a big thumbs up to help my channel grow, and tickle that cute bell button to be notified every time a video goes live. I wish you a nice day wherever you are,